Okay, so lecture 3. Okay, cool down. So the ones we have seen the necessary condition for differentiability, it was supposed to I fx is equal to fy at particular point z naught, right? This was the necessary condition for a function to be differentiable, right? We are in complex analysis, so differentiability in complex analysis, okay, not in real analysis, okay. So today let us derive the sufficient condition for differentiability, okay. So what is the sufficient condition is this. So suppose f is a function defined from a subset of complex number to the complex number of finite complex plane, right? A function defined, so this function can be written as u plus beta b, which is the real part of the function, and imaginary part of the function can be get by supplying g is equal to x plus iota y. Okay, so definitely u will be a function of x comma y, and v also will be a function of x comma v, right? Whenever you have u and v, so the first condition you have to check this. So the first is alpha fx is equal to fy, or this is the same as ux is equal to vy and uy is equal to minus vx at particular point g naught, okay. The first and the second one, a function is differentiable, and number one condition, the necessary condition, this is the necessary condition satisfied, and one more condition we are going to add here, and this is known as the first order partial derivative should be continuous. First order partial derivative should be the continuous. So what are the first order partial derivative means? That is ux, uy, vx and vy. These are must be continuous at g naught. Then your function f will be differentiable at g naught. Okay. Any doubt here? So you have to check only two conditions. The first one is this necessary condition, and this partial derivative should be the continuous. Okay, then you will say your function is differentiable. It is alright to everyone? So to understand the definition, let us take some example that we are already aware. So let us take f g is equal to g bar, right? G bar means this will be x plus iota y bar, this will be x minus iota y. So here u is equal to x and v is equal to y. Alright? So u is equal to x is a polynomial, therefore continuous everywhere, right? Polynomial continuous everywhere. Therefore its partial derivative also continuous everywhere. Similarly, same work here. Okay? So the second condition, the first order partial derivative should be continuous. So the second condition is hold where? On C. The second condition, the continuity of first order partial derivative is satisfying everywhere in the C, meaning there is no point where this condition does not hold, this one. So second is hold. Now let us take the first one. So the first condition is, if you go that way, so ux is equal to vy, you have to check, and vx is equal to minus uy, right? Tell me, so u is equal to x, so ux will be 1, vy is equal to 1, correct? x partial derivative, so yes, so tell me, ux will be derivative, this will be 1, uy will be 0, vx 0, vy is 1. Now check the condition, ux is equal to vy, uy is equal to minus vx, ux is equal to vy, so this is 1 is equal to 1, that is satisfied, is equal to 0, right? 1 minus 1. Here uy is 1 and no, sorry, ux is 0, vy is minus 1. See, this condition now satisfying. Do we have any point where this satisfying? No, we do not have even a single point at which this condition is satisfying. Alright? Not satisfied. How? So, do you have any point? Do we have a point z0 where this condition satisfying? The answer is no. Nowhere satisfying. We do not have any point. Meaning, the condition 1, which is the necessary condition, doesn't hold anywhere. Nowhere. But what if we have to do? We need intersection. We need those points of C where this and this together satisfy. So the first condition, if you remember, so I have condition 1, intersection condition 2. I have to check the intersection. The condition 2 is whole C. The condition 1 is P. Nowhere satisfied. Set a point where this is satisfied, no. So the intersection will be P. Meaning the both condition in C nowhere hold. This implies that we do not have the point. This implies that Fg is equal to G bar, nowhere differentiable. Alright? Yeah.
सर
Actually, right. Yeah, ask.
सर आप Vx की यहाँ 0 रहेगा Vx इक्वल टू 0
Yeah.
0 इक्वल टू 0
Uy is 0,
Vx is 0.
give me 1 second. So ux is equal to vy, alright. Uy is equal to minus vx.
माइनस एक्स तो जीरो ही होगा ना
1 second, I think it's getting some mistake, right? So this is right, ux minus vy equal to 0. So ux is 1 minus vy, right?
Yes.
Uy plus vx is equal to 0, right? How much uy?
0.
0. Vx?
0.
Oh, we did some mistake.
जीरो जीरो
Oh. So your v equal to minus y. Sorry. Right?
देन माइनस
X minus iota y. So v will be minus y. So vy will get minus 1. Okay? So uy plus vx. Okay, alright. Ux is equal to vy.
प्लस
So this will be plus 1, which is not 0. 1 plus 1 will be 2.
Yeah.
2 will be 0 somewhere? No.
No.
Okay. Yeah, so okay. Okay. So take one more example. D square. Okay, so the another function we have f z equal to z square, z is equal to x plus iota y, then it will be real part square plus y bar, right? So then it will be x square plus y square. So iota is not there, it meaning that it is written like iota plus 0. V imaginary part is 0, real part u x square plus y square. This is polynomial, so continuous, so its partial derivative continuous will be there. V is 0, a constant polynomial, so its partial derivative also continuous everywhere, right? So the second condition again satisfying everywhere. Now we need the first condition. If also satisfy everywhere, then your function will be different everywhere. But second condition, ux equal to 2x, uy equal to 2y, v is 0, so partial derivative with respect to x will be 0, partial derivative with respect to y will be 0. This is satisfying, right? So what you get, ux minus vy equal to 0, meaning 2x minus 0, so x equal to 0. This is 2y plus 2y equal to 0, means y equal to 0. X equal to 0, this is a imaginary axis. Y equal to 0, this is the real axis. If you take the intersection, then this will be simply this center only. Right? The first condition. So we need the intersection, first condition, intersection, second condition. Second condition satisfying on C. The first condition is satisfying only at one point. What is that point is simply 0. So what did you get? Single point 0. This implies that fz is equal to mod g square is differentiable at g is equal to 0 only. Okay. This is the question that I had discussed yesterday as well, and we concluded. I had given you the homework that I had proved this is the differentiable at 0 by the definition of the differentiability, and I had given you the homework to check and prove this is not differentiable other than 0. Okay. So, all right. Similarly, one can observe any power of k. Okay. Yes. So z की power k is also differentiable at g equal to 0. So the first question is mod g square, mod g cube, mod g की power k. So this is differentiable at 0, at 0, at 0, at 2, at 2, z is equal to 3. Okay. Some observation. whenever I have or we have a modulus, what is the meaning of modulus? If you remember, if you are putting the modulus, definitely it will belong to the real number, right? Modulus means it will give you a real number, because modulus is telling real part is square plus imaginary part is square. Okay, that's what it is. Modulus means modulus cannot give you the imaginary number. So meaning, if a function defined from a subset of complex number to the real number, okay, it can be modulus also. So the function of complex variable, real valued function of complex variable, this is known as real valued function of complex variable. Value will give you real only. So under what condition you can say that function is differentiable or not? So the first thing, if f of g naught is equal to 0 and f dash g naught is equal to 0, implies that mod of fg will be differentiable at g naught. If you remember here, mod g square at 0 it will be 0, the derivative will be 2z, that is also 0 at 0, that's why it is differentiable. G cube at 0 it will be 0, its derivative again 0. G minus 2 whole square, if you put g equal to 2, it will be 0, its derivative will be g minus 2, so that will be again 0. Here power 100, this will be again. So using same argument, you can say mod g is not differentiable. Why? At 0, this will be 0, its derivative f dash 0 will be 1. So this is not differentiable. Okay. So on the last one, you can check f is equal to some constant function c. Check it. So there are two conditions, condition 1, condition 2. Condition 1 will satisfy everywhere, condition 2 also will satisfy everywhere. Therefore, the constant function is differentiable everywhere. Alright? Any doubt here? So constant function is differentiable everywhere. Till now everything clear, right?
Yes, sir.
You guys look sleepy, man. सोया नहीं है रात में, नींद आ रहा है क्या? Okay. If you are able to understand beginning 4 lectures, the remaining will be nothing. The complex will be over then. Okay. These are the questions they will ask even in your interview also. I mean during this internal viva. Okay? Any doubt? So yes, let us take one more iota. Check this. Now I am giving you 5 minutes. You check it together and I'll find out the point at which this function is differentiable. So do you have one more class? Physics only, right?
Yes.
By 12:40, na? Before that, no class.
One.
Why?
Mathematics.
12:52 math. 12:52 math.
Mathematics class is there. Today. तुम लोग टेम्परेचर वाला मेजर करके आते हैं नहीं बाहर So you are sure that 12:40 physics class or mathematics class?
उसमें फिजिक्स है ना, पहले फिजिक्स है ना।
हाँ you all guys have a smartphone, right? Everyone.
Yes, sir.
Everyone have good phone, na? Smartphone.
Yes.
So I told in the last year, buy some good phone, okay? Do not use 6 months or 5 months, but buy good phone. So you are coming this way, right?
Yes.
How long? On road. On road. So your house is also nearby road.
2 kilometers road.
I mean nearby city or
नहीं उसमें 5 है
actually I didn't get the internet connectivity here. That's why I had to sit in city. I had made the regional people they give free time here, but so they were planning to give me this broadband on jungle, so the connectivity. He said that only the good actually. Yes, done. Everyone. So what are the points that you got?
X equal to y and
U is equal to x square and v is equal to y square. Again polynomials. So continuous everywhere implies that first order partial derivative also continuous everywhere. This implies that the second condition satisfies everywhere on C. Alright? Let us now take the first condition. ux 2x, uy 0, vx uy 2y. So ux is equal to vy and uy is equal to minus vx. This is 0, this is 0, so no problem. Ux is equal to vy, 2x is equal to 2y, implying that y is equal to x. This implies that y is equal to x, this is. Okay? So on this line, your first condition is satisfying. How many points on this line? Infinitely many, or we can say uncountable. So if you take the intersection, condition 1 and 2, then you will get the set of differentiable point will be collection of all those x, y such that x is equal to y. Alright? It is fine to everyone? Huh? Is it fine to everyone? Meaning your function is differentiable along this line only. So this is the line at which f is differentiable. Okay? It is clear to everyone? Or in doubt? Not clear? Then you discuss together, no? Meenakshi discuss with them. Differentiability means you have to check two conditions, first and second, and just take the intersection. So can you tell me where you didn't understand? This is fine. This is just partial derivative are written. U is given, then partial derivative will be 2x. Y is not there, so definitely with respect to y it will be 0. Vx, x function is not there, so this will be 0. Y derivative to y. The definition says ux is equal to vy. Ux is given to x, uy is given to y. So y is equal to x.
Yes.
Another one, uy is equal to minus vx, 0 is equal to 0. So this condition is satisfying. Y is equal to x line only. What is y is equal to x? This is a line passing through the 0, 0. Now I take the intersection, this condition satisfying everywhere, this satisfying along line only. So if I take the intersection, definitely this line will be the intersection, right? So that's why our function is differentiable along this line only, right? So some observation. Okay, some observation. The first one, f is differentiable along a line y equal to x only, right? Second point is there, yeah, you tell me. The first condition, the necessary condition or Cauchy-Riemann equation CRE that ux equal to vy, is CRE satisfied here, right? And different the partial derivative everywhere. What I mean that if I take any point nearby here, even the CRE will not be satisfied, because CRE satisfied along line only. If you are taking a point here, at this point y and x will not be the same, right? So if you are taking any point away from this line, then y and x cannot be same. Y and x must be same on this line only. So what I mean that if I take any point on this line, suppose this is the G naught, Suppose any arbitrary point, right? So the next point is, let G naught belong to a line. What kind of line? Where x is equal to y, right? So take G naught here and then take a radius delta and take a disk around the point, or you simply make a ball around the point. So geometrically we used to write like this, G naught delta. So any point on the line, if I take a ball around the point, so that is known as a disk, right? I did not with radius delta. आप ball तो बना सकते ना? You can make a ball around the point. So what I am telling that, let G not belong to a line y equal to line, then there does not exist any ball or disk around Z naught such that f is differentiable on this. What I mean that if you are taking any point on this line and making a ball around the point, this ball definitely will contain the point other than this line also, because if you take a ball, it will be round circle, so definitely it will contain some more point apart from the line. But you know very well by definition your CR is not satisfying here, not satisfying. This implies that your function is differentiable along the line only. This we had already proved. So what I conclude that the function is differentiable, but it is not differentiable in a disk. That's what I want to conclude. The third one, f is not differentiable on any disk. That's all. Or you can say the ball. Okay. You tell me this is a line. So what is the freedom? One dimension, right?
Yes, sir.
We have only one dimension. So this function is differentiable and the dimension of the differentiability of the function is 1. So we can conclude unidirectional differentiability, right? मीनिंग एक लाइन के करस्पॉन्डेंस ही डिफरेंशिएबल है. If you are taking any ball, the ball will contain more point other than line. If you can make a ball somehow that contain only line, then that will be fine. The function will be differentiable. But the nature of ball, you know, if you make a ball, definitely it will contain some more part, right?
Yes.
Ball cannot be in a line, right? Or did you see some ball that containing a line? आप ऐसा कोई बॉल बना सकते हो क्या जो एक लाइन जैसा हो? वो बॉल ही नहीं रहेगा. बॉल मीन्स इट टेक ए शेप, राइट? ओके, यू अंडरस्टैंड? दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. इन यूपीएससी इंटरव्यू they ask this question. Okay, so till now everything is fine, right? So now I am looking, we are interested or the complex analysis is a branch of mathematics in which we study the differentiability of function not along a line, not at a point, but in a disk. So now onward we are going to choose those functions only, such a differentiable function which are differentiable in a disk, not in a line. We are going through all such a kind of function which are not differentiable in a disk. If you remember, we had seen one example, fg equal to constant. right? This y differentiable everywhere. By definition, if you take the partial derivative 0, 0, 0 satisfy, necessary condition satisfy, it is already constant function, so continuous also, so it is differentiable everywhere. It is fine to everyone? Okay, so again I am telling you, still the complex analysis not started. This is the things are beginning. Just beyond telling you, if you can understand, it will be better. Okay, if you are not able to understand even single bit, that is more better. Okay, so because these are not going to use in your exam. Yeah, your exam is kind of bullshit exam. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you are getting or not. Okay, so we are interested now to find such a function which are differentiable in a disk, the known as analytic function. Okay. So again, let me repeat again. So we are interested in such a function which look like a disk form, right? Not a single line. Okay. So we are always interested in a disk. Means that should look like from your eye something should be in the solid, right? That's what we are interested. So what is the analytic function means? The one definition is it is a solid, right? Solid at G naught implies that analytic at G naught. Okay. If anything look like a solid, like this is a table, so this is also example of analytic function. This is the chair. These are the things are an example of analytic function. Okay. Whatever you can see from your eye is a form of solid. It is an example of analytic function. So what is the mathematical definition is this. So let f is defined from a subset of complex number to the complex number is said to be analytic at G naught if what should I write? If our f look like a solid near Z naught. If look like a solid near G naught or analytic at Z naught, or another definition, bookish definition, or if there is a delta positive such that f dash g exists for all g belong to this. Meaning or analyticity G naught implies that f is differentiable not only at G naught, not only at G naught, but in a neighborhood of G naught. Right? So whenever you have to check, suppose suppose this is a laptop. I am testing and this is a point suppose 2. I am checking my this laptop is analytic at this point or not. So I will see it is in a form of solid or not. So what you have to do, just make a solid around this point. So this is a procedure, right? If it is in the form of solid, then that's done. Bookish definition say, so suppose you have to check something. For example, take example Fz is equal to G square. I have to check this is the analytic at G is equal to 0 or not. So what you have to do that, take a point 0, take a radius delta, make an open unit disk. Right? What is this name? The name is, this is a disk, point is 0. So I made a disk. Now you check f dash g will be 2g, right? At 0 to 0 everywhere. So you have to check not only at this point but in the nearby also the function should be differentiable. So analyticity means differentiability not at that point only but in the neighborhood of that point also. Then you will say your function is analytic at that point. Okay? Any doubt? If you have doubt, ask now. Haji. It is fine? Okay, so shall I erase this? So let us see some example. If you see f is equal to 1 over g, then if you calculate f dash g, what you will get? Minus 1 over g square.
Yes.
Where this will exist? This is exist everywhere except g is equal to 0, right? So if I take a disk, if I ask you, can you check the differentiability at 1? You will say answer is yes. At 1, take radius 1 by 2 or 1 by 100,
Yes.
right? So 0 will not come here. Right? If you are taking this is the 1, so half radius will be like this, right? If somebody asks, can you check this at 1 over 1000, right? Then your answer again yes, because you can write this is the center. Suppose 1 over 1000 is here, or suppose it is so near, but you can take again one small radius, right? So see, this is also analytic everywhere. Another one, g square is analytic everywhere. You can take any this, derivative will be this, or instead sin z everywhere, right? The derivative will be cos z, sin hyperbolic z, cos z, cos hyperbolic z, tan hyperbolic z, and many more functions we can write. Or every polynomial, not polynomial, complex polynomial of the form Pz is equal to a0 plus a1g and so on an e power n is analytic everywhere. Alright? Any doubt here? No. So we had noticed, let us see one more example. G minus 2 whole square into g minus 3 whole square. If you see, this function is differentiable everywhere except, tell me the point, 2 and 3, right? Okay? Fine. So, see another, fg equal to 1 over sin g, right? We know that it will be problem where denominator is 0, right? So this is the differentiable everywhere, or I can say even analytic everywhere, except at which sin g 0. So sin g why will 0? Sin g 0 means sin, tell me, sin n pi.
Yes, sir.
So this implies that g equal to n pi. N belong to integer. So this your function is analytic everywhere except these points, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi and so on, right?
Yes, sir.
Let us see one more. Gd sin 1 over g. So find the point that which the function is differentiable. Definitely when g will be 0, or this will be better if you can write like this. Same. This function will be analytic everywhere except for denominator 0,
Yes, sir.
right? So I can say analytic everywhere except. So we can find a 0. How do you find? Sin 1 over g is equal to 0 is equal to sin n pi. So 1 over z is equal to n pi, then g is equal to 1 upon n belongs to integers minus 0. So this is analytic everywhere except this point. So now you guys write some question. Try to check the analyticity and ask me also. Okay. So these are the questions of analyticity of complex function. But if you remember, g is coming here. So this is a complex function. Not this is a the range is also complex number. So these are the complex function of complex variable. Now we are going to check real valued function of complex variable. Instead of writing r, I want to write it here r. So the question is, if I have a function defined from subset of complex number to real, this meaning that this function giving you the real number.
Yes, sir.
Function is anything, no problem. Then they are asking, can you tell me, is there a function of this form? Is any function of this form? Suppose f is not constant. Meaning, take a real valued, non-constant real valued function. Let f be a non-constant real valued function of complex variable. Then you tell function is analytic or not. This is the homework for you, so you try. Question is clear? Proof or disprove? Real valued function of complex variable is analytic everywhere. Do fast. It is good, right? With one help you can you are going to give a big result. Real value, do you understand, right? It should give a real number like mod z or fz is equal to x, fz is equal to y. Iota should not be real. That's what I mean. Or whatever till now you had gone through all the function, just you put fz and you write all the function that till now whatever you had gone in physics, chemistry or whatever subject you had gone through. You write all the function. So I am going to test, calculate a result that whatever function you had gone through, they are analytic or not. That's what we are going to test with the result, right? Okay. So how much time you guys need? Can you tell me? How much time do you need to finish this question? जी
चलो ब्लैक बोर्ड में अच्छी बात नहीं फ्रेंड्स आओ इसमें मुझे तो नहीं सिखाता है रियल हम लोग कौन सा फंक्शन पकड़े कैसे हम कॉम्प्लेक्स में पता नहीं क्या है मैं क्या सोचूं? का कौन सा टाइप है वो कर हाँ वो करना है टेक्नीशियन का नहीं सर
What happened? Okay, so to check the function, the f is defined from D to C or whatever you know. If you want take D equal to C, that is also fine. The thing is this is the real value function, meaning that it will give you real number. Whatever input you are applying, you will get real number. Okay. So to check the analyticity, what we need to check? Just check the differentiability, right?
yes
If it is differentiable everywhere, then analytic everywhere. Or if it is differentiable in a disk, then the function will be analytic there, right? That's what we are testing. So we know how to check. What is the definition? F dash. Take arbitrary point. Let G not belong to D, be a subset of C, be a arbitrary point. Take a arbitrary point, right? So I am not using a particular point, I am using here the arbitrary point, which it can be anything.
yes sir
So the f dash g naught will be, tell me, f dash g naught plus h or minus h, minus f g naught over h limit h tend to 0. Is it clear to everyone? Yes or no?
yes sir
This is the definition. Fantastic. So, just calculate the limit, that's all. If limit exists everywhere, then that is not done, right? So again the same procedure. I will take the case number 1. Let h tending to 0 along imaginary axis. What is the meaning of the imaginary axis meaning? Meaning that this is the 0, our h is here, suppose this is the h.
yes sir
H is complex number, this implies that h should be like g is equal to x plus iota y. So I can write h is equal to hx plus iota hy. Is there any problem to anybody? Hx means real part, x naught means x.
yes sir
just the real part of it. Do not think that this is a derivative, no. Or if you have a problem, then you can write HR, or here you can write HI. Real part of H and imaginary part of H. You tell me, if you are here, this is coming to the 0, on this axis will be 0.
Yes, sir.
So what is this? This is the real axis. You are at imaginary axis, means this part is 0. Alright? So H tending to 0 means HR tending to 0. Alright? The other part is automatically 0. Then what it will tell? This implies that limit HR tending to 0 f of G naught plus HR plus iota time 0. Alright? Minus f of G naught over HR. It is fine to everyone? Okay? Any doubt? Case number 2. Suppose I am here. On this axis, your H is HR plus iota time. Oh my God! Here this will be 0. Real part will be 0. Whatever I say, yes, right? Zero plus, correct? HR plus iota 0. You are telling H tending to 0. This implies that the imaginary part already 0. Meaning, you tell me this is the H. This real imaginary part is 0. So H tending to 0 means this part should go to the 0. So what will be your definition? Limit HR tending to 0. Alright? This in definition, so f of G naught, H is HR plus iota 0. HR plus iota 0 minus upon, alright? Is it fine to everyone? Now you cannot say that you didn't understand. If you didn't understand, go through and watch this 100 times, 200 times. How it's up to you, right? So this is the benefit of technology. You can, I mean, usually such a things is happening in Oxford and Harvard outside of our country. But Corona gave a very nice gift to uneducated people also. That otherwise, I do not think that it should be common at least in your college or even in your university also. Your university is still sleeping; they do not know anything. Even in the board university, only these lectures will go in front of all the students. Okay. So all right. So this is fine. Now calculate something. Check both are same or different something. You always remember one thing. Whenever I have a number G is equal to x plus iota y, this is the real part of G, this is the imaginary part of G. But the mind, because of this iota, it becomes the imaginary part. But you know that x and y both belong to R, right? Like take 2 and 3, then 2 plus 3 iota is complex number. But this coefficient will be real only. Okay? With the help of iota, it becoming imaginary number. Okay, so observe here. This is your real value function, meaning whenever if you apply the f, you will get a real number. You are not going to get a complex number. So f of g naught, this will give you r. All right.
Yes, sir.
This whole, whatever you are applying, you will get r.
Yes, sir.
If you remove this iota, see, so this is also real,
Yes, sir.
right? So what I am telling you, if you remember, see, this is belong to R, yes or no,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
This is real, this is real, this is real, except this number. Come here. This is real, F giving real, this is real, this is real, this already have gone because of 0, this whole is belong to R, correct? This fine? I want some changes here. Now, if I add here, so this is R, this is belong R, total is R. But whole is R, if you multiply by some number iota, then that will not be the real number. That will be imaginary number. So this whole quantity belonging to iota R, not R.
Yes, sir.
This is R, this is R, this is R. Multiplication of iota, imaginary number. But what is the differentiability condition? The limit should be same. Either you are coming this way or this way, right? So you tell me one approach, one way when 0 is there, if I am coming from this way or I am coming from this way, this approach is giving to the R, this approach is giving to the iota. Right? What is this meaning?
Difference.
This meaning that iota R is equal to R. That then limit exists, right? This implies that R must be 0. Right? Otherwise, if R is not 0, this cannot be the same. Suppose R is equal to 2, then 2 iota cannot be the 2. Alright? What is this meaning? This meaning that if a function f is real valued function of complex variable, okay, then either it is not differentiable, or if differentiable, then derivative will be 0, correct? So if I have a real value function, then it may be differentiable, may not be differentiable. But if it is differentiable, then its derivative will be 0. Alright, everyone? Because iota r cannot be the r. That's why if you remember, whatever function you had written before, if I can ask take f of g is equal to sine x. If I check, this is the real value function. If I ask this function is differentiable at 1, then what will be your answer? The derivative at 1 it is not 0. So this function is not differentiable at 1.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because in complex analysis either derivative 0 or function not differentiable. Alright? Okay. So if you are noted, then I can add some more comment over this. Note fast. Done? Okay, so I have some comment. So you have class at 12:30. Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
100%.
Yes, sir.
Can skip now if you will not do the class will not be happen, na? Who will take the class?
Yes, sir.
Modules are not in, right? Okay, so the comment C, the F real valued function we had observed. First of all, it is non-constant. Non-constant means, if you remember, this implies that f dash g cannot be zero on any disk. This is okay to everyone? The function is non-constant, so we will not get any disk in which the derivative is zero everywhere. Because if derivative is zero everywhere, then the your function will be constant in the disk. Right? If function derivative is zero everywhere, at least on the disk, then function will be constant. But it is already given the function is non-constant. So this is not possible on any disk. This is possible if fz is constant. That we had already seen, the function is analytic everywhere. Since this is non-constant function, so this is not possible. This is not possible means this implies that fg is nowhere analytic. Okay, function is nowhere analytic. So till now, whatever function you had gone through in chemistry, mathematics or whatever, if you write all those functions are not analytic and you have throw them from the complex analysis. Okay. Then we had seen sin z, cos z, polynomial. These are the only functions, they are analytic everywhere. So the first case, the name is entire function. Entire function means analytic everywhere. Okay. It is fine to everyone? So today onward, whenever I say analytic function, analytic means this is a solid at G0. It is alright to everyone? Analyticity means it is solid. Okay. So now we are at some particular height, we are at solid. Alright. So if you have seen solid, or a very simple example, let us replace it with your teeth. Okay. If you remember, your teeth is also solid, right? Or it is not solid? It is solid, right? So if you remember, if you have something solid, suppose we have a teeth, I think everyone have. Okay. So what you do that, you know, sometimes it is problem. There is some people have pain in some problem in their teeth, na? So what they will do that, they will visit a doctor or dentist. What you say, right? Dentist. Then what he will do that, he will first find out. Right? So he will find out, and what he will check, he will test the type of cavity. Right? So what is problem in your tooth or in teeth? Maybe cavity is there. Right? So doctor will find out, hey, there are three kind of the cavity are possible. So he gave the name, the first name is removable cavity, another one whole cavity, and the third one essential cavity. Okay? Remember this. So, these are the three cavities. You also know that if you have a cavity, or if I can give you the solid, if there are cavity, I think you can refill it, right? So if some solid have some cavity, we can refill it. How will you refill? First of all, you need amount of cavity. If you remember, hey, this much amount of cavity is there, then you can fill that amount of, right? So we need to find the amount of cavity. The next one, amount of cavity. How much cavity are there? So if the cavity is removable, doctor will say go and enjoy. It will go, within 6 or 7 days. So here nothing, zero. Cavity is not there. It is just normal problem is there. Second, we have a tool. Some formula is there. Suppose this is the F1. So this amount you have to fill it. It become again solid. Third one again, we have formula. We will fill it. In bookish definition, this kind of the cavity is known as the singularity. Okay? So if you have a solid, then cavity, singularity or puncture. Right? If solid here, some puncture will be there. So what kind of puncture is there? If you go and some, like your cycle, bicycle used to get punctured. So you have to go and repair. Same process here. So how many puncture are possible? Removable, pole and essential. Once it puncture is there, here you don't need to do. It will heal up automatically. To find this, we need a formula. I will tell this is also. So this is in mathematical definition. Like here you saying this is the singularity and this is known as the residue. Okay, so what is the residue? Residue is a process of filling the cavity. Right? How much amount cavity are there? With the help of residue, we will fill it. What type of the punctured is there? The first one removable, that we will check it. Pole, we will check it. So once now in the next class, we will find out how to check it is removable. How to check it is kind of pole cavity or essential cavity. Once we are aware, then we will see how to repair it. That is known as the residue. And once this is got over, your syllabus will be over. Okay? So you want to go or should we continue little more time? Hanji, do I continue? Tell fast. So these the two things are remaining. Again, today, tomorrow is the holiday. So the type of cavity lectures are available in the YouTube. You have to go through properly. Why do we need the analyticity? There are a special lecture. Why analyticity is important? Why do we need? Why the type? Why the cavity? If you open the YouTube channel, the cavity word will come. So you learn there, all formula are there. So you should be prepared at least 90% for the next class. Okay? Through the YouTube. These videos are already available. So we should stop here or do I continue?
No.
Okay, so see you, but again you have to go through, there is one lectures videos. One is the discussion, that you have to watch all discussion. There will be 20 minute clip are there. So you will understand idea, all everything are written. So you have to go through all the discussion video and once you finish, then if you have a time, then you can go through the crash course option, there will be sufficient videos are there. But this is the mandatory. The type of cavity are discussed. I will not discuss in the next class. You should watch it. It will be the same. Okay? Yeah. See you in the next class. Thank you.